Recording is on.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Spring into Yoga. So we are focusing this month on using the brain, the body, and the breath to help us combat things like depression, seasonal affective disorder, anxiety, stress, any of that that's going on in your life. We're going to use positive affirmations, focus on breathing techniques, and then our yoga postures will help us with these techniques as well. So today our theme is empowerment. So we are going to be focusing on speaking to ourselves positive affirmations about being strong, being empowered, using our yoga poses for those as well, and also a breathing technique called breath of fire. So if you have any essential oil that you would like to use today, come down to a seated position on your mat. And what I have today with me is a blend of a positive oil. It's got some peppermint in it. It's got rosemary and geranium, a few other essential oils. So a peppermint or a menthol type of, or a eucalyptus is really nice to clear the sinuses. So when we're doing breath of fire, it's a really fast inhalation and exhalation through the nose. So it might be nice to actually have your sinuses clear with one of these. You can even use a little like Vicks Vapo Rub if you don't have anything. Just, you know how that really opens up your sinuses. So also, if you have any congestion with this, you might want to breathe through your mouth, but this is done typically through the nose. So if you've got any of that essential oil, I just want you to rub it between the hands and heat it up a little bit. And then we're going to use what we call the Dove Mudra. So I'm going to open my hands, take my pinky fingers together, the palm of the hand touching just above the wrist and the thumb, and create this funnel and just place it in front of my nose. And I just want you to breathe in and out through the nose. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to your current state of well-being. Taking a little mental health check. Notice how you're feeling in your brain. And bring yourself fully into this present moment. There's nowhere else to go, no place to be, but in the here and now. And allow the breaths to be full and deep, and feel the belly expand with the inhalation and contract with the exhalation. Notice the properties of the breath, the texture of the breath as it enters the nose. If you have that essential oil, you'll feel maybe your sinuses expanding, becoming more spacious as the air enters the nose. Let's take one more breath. And then exhale, lower the hands down and place them right on the belly. So breath of fire there's so many benefits of breath of fire. For today, it really helps with anxiety and stress. It also helps to strengthen your abdominal muscles, helps with digestion, helps for lung expansion. So what we're going to do is place our hands on the belly. And breath of fire is a forceful exhalation. But before you start that, I just want you to inhale and let your belly expand forward toward your fingertips. And then as you exhale, use your abdominal muscles to pull in toward your backbone. So expand out and then pull in and flatten. And try to do this through the nose if you can. And one more. So now we have that feeling of expanding out and contracting back. As you're learning breath of fire, you're going to do it slow so you can control. And then as you get better at it, the breath picks up and increases in speed. So what we want to concentrate is not on the inhalation. The inhale will happen naturally. We're going to concentrate on the exhalation and make it forceful and quick through the nose. And each time I exhale forcefully through the nose, my abdominals contract and my belly flattens. So let's try this for about 30 seconds. So take a nice big deep breath in, let your belly expand, and then rapid forceful exhalations through the nose. Just a few more. Three more breaths. And then relax, sit your hands on your thighs, close your eyes for a moment, and bring your awareness to your body. And just notice and check in on how you're feeling, the effects of that breath of fire practice. And as you're checking in and breathing, I'd like for you to say to yourself, I can do things that are hard. I have the strength to do things that are hard. And we'll blink our eyes open with a soft gaze and come onto hands and knees. If you need some padding for your knees, make sure that you feel comfortable. We'll be here for a little bit. And from this hands and knees position, we're going to do one more round of breath of fire for about 30 seconds. So it's from all fours. You'll let your belly slightly drop as you take a breath in. And then as you exhale, rapidly the belly comes up and up and up and up. So just try that in this hands and knees position. Just about 8 more breaths. Press yourself back to child's pose, stretch through the fingertips, and relax. I can do things that are hard. I have the capability of learning to do things that are difficult. I am empowered. So as we rise up from our child's pose, hinge yourself forward, drop your hips down, and come into a kneeling upward facing dog. Let your chest shine forward proudly. And then we'll go back and forth between these two positions, pressing back to child's pose, gliding forward, dropping those hips any amount. Shoulder blades are back and down. So option here for wrists. Bring your elbows down to the mat. Press yourself back into a child's pose with your elbows down. Glide yourself forward either into a plank or drop those hips and you're coming into Sphinx pose. At your own pace. Now, one more option, pressing up to downward facing dog. We lift those hips as we push back. And we glide forward, keep our toes tucked under, and drop your hips any amount. So we have 3 levels of this flow, from the elbows to Sphinx pose, from child's pose on the hands and knees to a kneeling up dog, or from our downward facing dog to up dog from the toes. Let's take 3 more. We're really warming up through the shoulders and through the spine, empowering our body in these strong positions. Then either holding your child's pose or your downward facing dog. We'll breathe. If you need a break for the wrists, child's pose is the place for you today. If you're feeling a little bit stronger through those shoulders and hands, take your down dog and start to pedal out your feet. Bend one knee, press the opposite heel down into the mat and switch. One more each side. And then we'll find a forward fold at the top of our mat so we can either walk, jump, step, take as many steps as you need to bring those feet up toward the hands. And take a moment crossing the hands on the opposite elbows to hang in ragdoll. Now, ragdoll pose can really bring ourselves inward. We're protecting ourselves here in ragdoll. So I want you to just notice how this ragdoll pose makes you feel closed in. But feel the physical properties of the pose as well. Feeling the length down the back of the legs, up and over the back side of the body. We'll release the hands, start to bend the knees very deeply, begin to rise up into chair pose. The hands can be at heart, out in front of you, extended upward. So find that position that feels best for you and just hold this pose. Chair pose is translated to mean powerful pose. Also intense pose. So feel the intensity of this pose through the legs, feel the strength of the legs, the strength of the core, and feel empowered by this pose. Pressing the weight back into the heels. And as we hold this pose, if you would like, try breath of fire. So your belly is going to expand forward and contract as you exhale. 3 more breaths. And then come back to a normal breath flow. Press through the feet. Extend the arms up into upward salute. Send your gaze up. Reach through the fingertips. Strong through the legs. So we'll flow through our chair, powerful pose, into upward salute. And sink down on an exhalation. Find the strength in the legs, the empowerment of the physical body. Then stretch up. Inhale, extend and reach. Exhale and sink down into chair. Now when you come up, you can take a baby back bend if that feels okay for your spine. I want you to be aware of what's best in your body. And we'll do 3 more. Flowing from chair, intense, powerful pose, to Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. Starting to build our confidence, empowering the mind and body. And we'll reach up, hold, then soften the knees gently, swan dive down into your forward bend. And we'll step our right foot back, planting that foot and the heel down, rise up to warrior 1. Square off your hips. Our warrior poses are very empowering today, so I want you to find that grounding into the mat, pull energy up from the earth. And today, as we take our arms up into goalpost, make gentle fists and contract your bicep muscles. So you are doing this like you're making a muscle here, nice and strong. And I want you to feel that strength in your arms. Feel your biceps contracting. Feel your upper back contracting as you're drawing your shoulder blades down and back. And feel empowerment from this position. And I can do things that are hard. So feel the strength in those arms and in the legs. Let's take 1 more breath. Then as you exhale, release your hands. Either place them at your hips or take them behind your back and find a chest expansion. Start to elevate the heart gently, lifting it toward the sky with confidence. And then coming back up, straighten out this front leg a bit. Make sure your hips are squared as we come into a gentle pyramid pose. So we start to hinge the hips, or hinge from the hips, the body comes forward till we begin to feel a stretch down the back of the leg. Now the arms can stay interlaced behind you to feel this stretch. You can have hands at your hips, or if you feel more comfortable supporting yourself, come down and place the fingertips on the shin gently, or you can use your block to support yourself here, maybe even a chair. Nice and long through the spine. Now, if the back foot is more parallel, you might find a wonderful stretch in the back leg calf, as well as the front leg hamstring. Feel stable and empowered in this pose. Take 2 more breaths. And before you rise, put a soft little bend in that front knee, just a little one, and then push through that front foot to rise up. And release the hands. Reach down to the mat and step that back foot forward, back into your forward bend. Notice the difference in the feel between the right and left legs. The difference of the feel of the empowerment of the body and the mind. We'll use our breath to inhale, rise up into upward salute. Exhale into chair pose, any arm position here. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, swan dive down into your forward bend. Step your left foot back. With the foot slightly turned out, the heel is planted, and we rise up into warrior 1. Square the hips. And we'll bring our arms into that empowerment arms. So it's goalpost arms with gentle fists and a contraction through the muscles of the entire upper body. Feel strong and empowered in this pose. You might even feel your muscles shaking or quivering a little bit. Keep the breath going. And you can even try breath of fire here. And one more breath here in this strong position. And then release, bringing the hands either to the hips or behind the back as we come into a little bit of a chest expansion. Slowly straighten that front leg as we prepare for our pyramid pose. So there's no rounding of the back. That's why I like to have hands either behind my back or at the hips so that I'm not having that tendency to curve my spine as I come down. So find your range of motion on this side. If you like your arms behind you, but it's difficult to clasp your hands, you can use your yoga strap as well, bringing it behind your back, opening your hands a little wider so you can find that nice shoulder stretch. You can always use your block to support as well. And see if you can make your spine a little bit longer. You can always keep a bend in this front knee if you're finding the hamstring it's difficult to stretch here in our pyramid. And let's take one more breath in. And as you exhale, before you rise, start to bend that front knee a little bit and use the strength pressing down into the foot. Nice, powerful thigh to rise up. And then we'll reach down to the mat, stepping the back foot forward into forward bend. Inhale, a reverse swan dive, coming all the way up, extending into our upward salute. And sink into chair. Intense pose, Utkatasana, powerful pose. Can you sink a little deeper into this pose? Now check your position and make sure that your body's not leaning forward. So in chair, we always want to be able to see the heart extending. You do have a forward angle of your body. It's not straight up and down, but it's not bent forward with your heart facing the floor. So shine that confident heart forward. Let's take one more breath. And inhale, extend up. Exhale, swan dive into your forward bend. And we'll step the right foot way back into a strong and powerful warrior two. Good, so take your time to find your stance here. Doesn't have to be really wide, but find some confidence to go a little longer maybe than you usually do in terms of the width of your legs. Extend through your fingertips. We're finding the anchoring of this strong leg in front. Holding that warrior. 2 more breaths. And 1 more. And then you'll cartwheel your hands back toward the top of your mat. Step the back foot forward to meet the left. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way up, upward salute. Exhale, chair pose. Maybe find your breath of fire here. The more we practice it, the more we get that strength in the abdominals to be able to do that quick exhalation and contraction of the lower ab muscles. One more breath here. And then inhale, reach up, stretch. Exhale, swan dive back into your forward bend. Step your left foot way back. Turn that foot out 90 degrees. Rise yourself up into Warrior Two. And anchor yourself powerfully into the earth. See if you can widen those legs. Take a chance. Take a little bit of a risk. See if you can lower down into that pose a little bit more with confidence and empowerment. Find energy in your arms, reaching through the fingertips. 2 more breaths. And then cartwheel the hands back down toward that front foot. Step the back foot forward. If you need to take 2 or 3 little steps to get there, that's okay. Forward bend. Reverse swan dive all the way up. Upward salute. And sink into chair pose. Intense pose, powerful pose. Maybe a breath of fire here. And then press the palms at heart center. Draw the shoulders back and down. We're going to step the right foot back either into Warrior One or High Crescent Lunge. So Warrior One, we have the foot planted. High Crescent Lunge, we have the heel lifted. Then step back into chair, feeling power in the legs, working on your balance and stabilization. Then step the left foot back either to Warrior One or to High Crescent Lunge. And step the back foot in. And step the right foot back. Then open those arms out to our powerful arms. And start to twist toward the front leg. Twist, twist. And then come back to center. And twist. And center. 2 more. Rotate. Feel your arm muscles contracting. Last one. Twist. And center. Press palms at your heart. Step that back foot forward into chair pose. Empowerment through our body, through our mind. Left foot steps back, either Warrior One or High Crescent Lunge. Square your hips, find your balance. Open out into our powerful arms. Tensing the muscles of the biceps, the forearms, the upper back and shoulders. Then we'll twist toward that front leg, rotate. And back to center. Exhale on the twist. Inhale, center. 2 more. If you're finding this is tippy with balance, set that back heel down. We'll have a little bit more stabilization. And last one, rotate. And come center. Press the palms at your heart. Step the back foot into chair. Sink into those legs. Just a few breaths here, maybe breath of fire. And then we'll inhale, stretch all the way up. Exhale, swan dive into your forward bend. And then bend your knees and either step or jump your feet back to plank. So from here, I want you to find the plank that you can do for several breaths. So if the knees come down, great. If the elbows come down, fantastic. You find your plank and find your confidence. And I can do things that are hard. Breathe through this plank. I challenge you maybe even to find your breath of fire. Shoulders are down, strong through the chest muscles, through the triceps, through the core, through the legs. One more breath. Then two choices, child's pose or downward facing dog. Now, if you are in your child's pose, come up to down dog with us just briefly. And we'll lift the right leg up into three-legged dog. Your option is to have your left knee on the ground. So we can be here as well. Holding that leg up, nice and strong through the hip. And then we'll step this right foot up towards the outer right edge of the front of your mat. So I'm going to step it out to the outside of my hand. So my right hand is in the inside. Spine is nice and long. Feel your hip flexor on that back leg opening up. So our hands can support us here in this position. We get a nice stretch through the hip and through that hamstring. And our option here is to take a twist. So right hand comes off the mat. We rotate and extend up through the fingertips, sending the gaze up, feeling strong through the core and through the legs. And then lower yourself back down. Then lift up off your left hand a little bit so you're just touching your fingers. And try that twist again with just barely touching the floor on that left hand. Up and lifted. Two more breaths. Back knee can come to the mat. One more breath. And then lower that hand down in the middle. Use strong arms to brace yourself as you press yourself back into down dog, or if you need a break there in child's pose, it's there for you to take. You can also lower your elbows down here to dolphin pose. Dolphin pose is very empowering too, strong through the shoulders. And if you're in your child's pose, we'll prepare to lift that left leg up. So you can come to down dog or hands and knees. Left leg rises. Feel the strength between 3 points of connection, both hands or both elbows, and the right foot. Then we'll send that left foot to the upper left corner of your mat. Now, if it only makes it this far, use your hand and help walk this foot along the way until you work it way up to the top of your mat. Both hands are in the middle. Try to activate the back leg to open up your right hip flexor, hugging that left knee into the chest. Then we'll come into a twist, opening out to that left side. Reach up, extend. Breathe into the rib cage. Have the confidence in this pose, the confidence it requires. Then lower back down, both hands in the middle, and then use your legs and your core to support you just a little bit more to lift up, barely touching the fingertips of that right hand, or maybe not even touching, and open back out into that twist. So once you're there, you can try picking your hand up off the floor. See if you can hold this with very little contact into the fingertips. One more breath. And lower both hands down in the middle. Find these strong shoulders and arms to press yourself back into down dog or child's pose. And hold. Dolphin is another option, coming down to those elbows. And we'll hold here 3 more breaths. Maybe even trying your breath of fire. And then if you're in down dog or dolphin, drop the knees down and take a rest in child's pose, any style. The arms can come behind you or reach out long to the top of your mat. Just holding that child's pose, coming into a positive affirmation. I can do things that are hard. I have the strength to do things that are hard. And those things are not always physical things. You have the strength to change your mindset, to change your emotional well-being, using the breath, using the brain, using positive affirmations, using strong body positioning, strong yoga. And we'll rise up. Walk your feet back up underneath you, coming into down dog. And walk toward the middle of your mat. Soften your knees, bend them deeply, and we'll rise up through chair pose, Utkatasana, and up through upward salute, maybe a baby back bend. Then press the palms to heart center. Lengthen your arms next to the side of your body for mountain pose and draw your shoulder blades back. So we can stand or we can stand. So I want you to stand with power and with empowerment, with determination, with strength in your legs, with length in your spine. And we'll prepare for a balanced pose. So press the palms of the hands back to heart center. Take the right foot a little bit forward of the left as we prepare for warrior 3. So we'll just bring the left foot back a little bit behind us to tap the toe. And reach the arms straight out in front. So this can be a wonderful warrior 3 to start. Once you feel grounded into that front foot, pick your back leg up so that toe's not touching the floor, but it's always there for you. Then begin to teeter-totter your body forward any amount. So as the upper body is coming forward, the leg is lifting. We try to keep a straight line. Doesn't have to be parallel to the floor. That's great if it is. And then your arms can be anywhere you'd like here to help you with balance. You can use a wall with the fingertips. You can use a chair. So we'll be holding this warrior 3 a few more breaths. One more option is to come into standing split. So with standing split, with the knee soft, we begin to lower the fingertips down until you find a block or all the way to the mat, and the back leg lifts energetically. Two more breaths. If you are in standing split, try to come out slowly by softening the knee, finding your balance, lifting your fingertips up off the floor through your warrior three, till that big toe touches, and step the back foot back into mountain pose. Check in. Let your body come back to equilibrium on right and left sides. Then moving into our warrior three, we'll find that balance on the left foot. It's slightly in front. The right toes come back to tap behind. So before you really go fully into this pose, just barely lift that toe off the floor behind you so you find your balance in the standing leg and your hips are squared. Then begin to see where you can move on this leg. And it's okay to use a prop here, a wall, maybe just a fingertip or two to help you with balance. Arm positioning is whatever you would like. A nice long spine, strong through that standing leg. And then decide whether you'd like to come down to a block or to the floor for your standing split. If you're in standing split, try to elevate that back leg up as high as you can by connecting with those muscles. Two more breaths. If you're in standing split, try to come out with control. It's difficult to come back away from the earth because you're moving away from gravity. Rising up. Ooh, harder on this side for me. Till that back toe touches. And step the back foot forward, finding your mountain pose strong. Maybe close your eyes for a couple of breaths. And then we'll transition to come down onto our back. So any way you would like to go here from your standing position, you can sit first. And then come on down to our backs. Now find strength in your legs, in your hamstrings and your hips as we press up into bridge. And I want you to imagine you're pulling your heels back toward your glutes. So you're trying to drag the feet toward you on the floor. And this is going to fire your hamstrings. Of course, your legs aren't going to move because they're planted into the earth. But if you imagine you're pulling your heels back, then you're going to be firing the correct muscles here in the backs of the legs. If you're pushing forward with your feet, which it's easier to do, then you have your quads firing. It's not wrong, but I'd like for you to find your hamstrings in this moment because they are a lot weaker than the quads. So we fire those, we're pulling our heels towards us. 3 more breaths. One more breath, inhale. Then exhale and lower those hips back down to the mat. Bring your feet closer together, even to touch, maybe the knees to touch. We'll lift the right foot up away from the mat and you can bring it into table. You can extend it straight up to the ceiling. You can extend it down on a lowered angle. Our goal is to press up into bridge with that left leg only. So press down into the left foot, lift the hips up. So again, right knee can be bent, extended up straight, lowered down. anywhere you'd like it to be, and hold 3 breaths. Stable through your hip, really strong and confident and empowered in your left side body. One more breath. Then use the strength of that leg to resist gravity and lower your hips back down. We'll place the right foot down to the floor. Bring your left knee to table or extended up or down on an angle. And press into that right foot with even hips and lift up into bridge. Now you might notice a difference on this side already in terms of strength or in terms of balance of your core. And try not to use your arms too much to stabilize you on the mat. Use your core. Use the lower body and use the breath. Let's breathe in and out twice more. And exhale, resist gravity as you lower the hips back down to the mat. And then lower that left foot. So we'll widen the feet and slightly turn the toes out. So I have a little bit of rotation. This is going to open the knees a little wider than the hips. Press into both feet evenly and lift up into a wide leg bridge. And you might be able to come up higher with your hips now, that the legs are open slightly. This helps the hips open, helps the lower back to release a little bit for us to come up a little higher. Make sure you have plenty of space in your neck and you can breathe freely. You're not pressing your chin into your sternum. Now try to press up evenly with both feet. Our strong side sometimes overpowers our bridges. So we're pressing down evenly, keeping the hips even. And if you'd like to interlace your hands behind your back, rock from side to side, lift your heart, and lift those hips up a little higher. And we're here 3 more breaths. Using those abdominal muscles on the exhalation. And if your hands are interlaced, release them, separate your shoulder blades, and lower your hips back down to the mat. Walk your feet back together. And if you have your yoga strap, we're going to stretch the hamstring. So we can place it under the sole of, or the ball of the right foot. Extend that leg and lengthen it up. If you don't have a strap, you can hold behind the thigh, behind that lower leg. If you're pretty flexible, you can take the Yogi Toe Lock. So we take our peace fingers, we slide them through the big toe and the second toe, loop them around the toe, and then your thumb closes right on top. And we press the big toe away from the fingertips, so we're not pulling down on the toe itself. It's in a good neutral position. Now the bottom leg can slide out to straight. And activate that bottom leg. If you have it lengthened out, flex your foot as if you were standing on the mat in an upright position in this stretch. You really allow the stretch to happen by relaxing the muscles in the back of the leg. Use your breath, a slow exhalation, to help the muscles relax. One more breath here. And then we'll release the yoga strap or release the Yogi Toe Lock. Hug that right knee right into your chest, possibly lifting the bottom leg up off the floor. Curl your head and shoulders up and do 5 breaths of fire. And then relax the head and shoulders. Use your left hand to bring this right knee across the body and open out into a twist. And 2 more breaths. And come back to center with your twist. Just placing the right foot down onto the floor with a bent knee. Then we'll bring that left leg up for your hamstring stretch. You can use your yoga strap under the ball of the foot, extend it upward. Or if you have that flexibility for the Yogi Toe Lock, take your peace fingers, index and middle finger through the space between your big toe and second toe. Wrap the fingers around the toe and close the thumb on the top. And press your toe away from your hand. Bottom leg can slide out to straight to release the hip flexor and activate that leg. Flex your foot as if you were standing on the ground. Nice empowered position in this stretch. Take several breaths here. And in any of these poses, you can try your breath of fire. Or just a nice, easy, sinking breath or ujjayi breath. A calming breath. Just a few more breaths here. Maybe increasing that flexibility just a little bit more. And releasing your yoga strap or your Yogi Toe Lock. Hug your knee right into your chest. The ankle is flexed, so you're finding some power and strength in your shin muscle. Possibly lifting the bottom leg a couple of inches away from the mat. Curl your head and shoulders up to find an abdominal contraction, looking towards your belly. 5 breaths of fire. Head and shoulders come back down. Relaxing the leg. Draw that left knee across the center of the body into a twist. Opening out the left arm, you can look to the left and relax your oblique muscles. Just breathe into the space between your ribs. And then we'll come out of the twist. Bring both knees into the chest. Press the lower back down into the mat. Your option is to curl your head and shoulders up. You can keep your knees in, or you can extend your legs high or down any amount. 5 breaths of fire. Knees come back in. Then we'll clasp our hands behind our back and try to roll the body forward and back along your spine. Use your legs to help roll you up a little higher each time until you have the strength and the momentum to sit yourself all the way up. come to an easy cross-leg pose or any other comfortable place here in position, and close your eyes. Check in. And we'll finish our practice with a few more positive affirmations. You can just listen to the sound of my voice, or you can repeat these affirmations to yourself in your mind, or you can repeat them out loud. I am in control of my thoughts. I am in control of my behavior, and I will use them to lift myself up. I am doing my best with what I have. I am proud of myself and what I have achieved in my life. I am capable of doing hard things. I may not always succeed at what I am doing, but every setback is a lesson. And I can use those lessons to do better next time. I own my own story, and I have the power to change my story. I am grateful for all of the wonderful ideas and dreams that I have, and I know that I am capable of making them come true. Let's blink our eyes open this morning. Take a nice inhalation. Feeling those positive thoughts and affirmations and drawing them into our heart center. And the strength and the power and empowerment that resides within me honors the strength and power and empowerment in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. Just one more quick reminder, no class tomorrow, and I need to jump off to go get water out of the basement. So I'll see you all next week. Thank you so much. I'd love to hear a little note from you, maybe a text message or an email, and let me know how you felt in your practice today, how your body felt, and how you feel empowered. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day and a super weekend. Thank you so much. Love you guys.